The game is another kill gets picked up by BUBU.
You guys do run into SSG. You guys come out hot. You win the first 2 games. And then after game 2, you stand up and embody the copy pasta meme and become Darth Bubu the Dubu for a moment.
Just being on this team in general, like being comfortable with the guys I'm with, they definitely like bring the best out of me. They just make me comfortable and I can be my true authentic self. I'm a pretty goofy dude. My natural instinct was just to stand up and like have a pop off. And I think a lot of people got it twisted. Like they thought I was like celebrating. Like that wasn't like me celebrating. That was literally just part of the game to me. Like standing up and having a pop off. I was locked in just in the moment.
Hello and welcome back to Tide the Leader, a podcast dedicated to exploring the past, present, and future of competitive Halo. I'm Eli the Ninja. Joined alongside me, as always, is Old Man Makowski, and today we have a very special guest. From Media Day Joker to Mainstage Force Choker, possessor of Halo's most iconic mustache, and author of the Gamertag that launched 1,000 copy pastas, we're thrilled to welcome to the show BUBU Take My Dubu Dubu. BUBU, thank you for joining us. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Doing awesome, man.
Excited.
Yeah, this
Nice.
was, I think you were one of our top guests that we talked about that we'd love to have you on. Obviously, we got to work with you on that G1 roster for quite a while.
Yes, sir.
Talking about London, though, since you just got back, we're going to talk about some of the highlights of that run. But what was your experience like visiting London? How bad was your jet lag? And how was the food?
Okay, so first of all, just getting to travel to another country just for Halo, just for gaming in general is like an amazing thing. Like I'm super grateful to be able to even have that experience. And I love traveling personally. I love like traveling and getting to go walk around and discover new trails and just what any city has to offer. So going to London was super sick. Super grateful for just the opportunity and like to be a part of the Halo scene and continue this run that I'm trying to do as a pro player. The food was pretty good. I think breakfast actually is pretty good over there. Like in my opinion, they do breakfast pretty good. Everything else is kind of like below like the US, like lunch and dinner. But when it comes to breakfast, I really enjoyed the breakfast. Yeah, the jet lag was interesting because I was kind of like underestimating it a little bit going in. I was like, I got this. I'm gonna work out when I get there. Like just stay up till when I need to, fall asleep when I need to. But yeah, it was really hard to get like a full night's like rest while being there. I would wake up like every 2 hours. Like I think my body was just so confused about where I am and like the time of day it is. But yeah, it was pretty interesting. I was waking up at like 4:30 a.m. and falling asleep at like 8:30 a.m. or 8:30 p.m. the first couple nights, and like just waking up nonstop. And then eventually, I kind of started waking up a little bit later each day, 4:30 to like 5:30 to 6. But yeah, I'd say definitely the first day was the hardest, like Friday, because going into like the quadrant series, I was like exhausted. I woke up at 4:30 a.m. that morning. I did like an hour and a half workout at the gym and just like was pretty much just up all day, just in flow state, trying to, game prep for our matches and stuff against literally Optic and Quadrant, 2 like amazing teams. So it was definitely really exhausting. That was the hardest day for sure when it comes to jet lag.
Did that give you a newfound appreciation for what the EU competition feels when they come over to NA? What was that experience like? Because you guys kind of had a flip-flop of what they experience when they come over to something like Arlington or Atlanta in a month.
Oh yeah, definitely. It put things into perspective because that was my second time going to London. The first time was in 2018 and then 6 years later. So we've only had to deal with it twice. They have to deal with it literally like every tournament pretty much. So definitely respect it. And yeah, just traveling for that long on a plane, just it takes a toll on your body. So I respect it.
100%. Yeah, so your team took Optic and Quadrant to Game 5 in pools. You lost the Game 5 to Optic, but won the one against Quadrant. There seemed to be a ton of different Game 5s, not just for your team, but throughout the entire tournament as competition's getting tougher and tougher. What do you think it takes right now in the meta to win in those pivotal series deciders?
Yeah, man. I mean, the league is pretty deep right now. I like coming into the tournament, I was saying like anyone out of the top 6 could take a series from each other just on any given day, depending on just who shows up and who's like prepared for that, like given best of 5, So yeah, we went to 2 best of 5s. The Optic Series was very, very winnable. I'd say we definitely came out hotter than them. We kind of just like got some blunders in the Aqua Flag. I think we were outslaying them pretty hard the first half of the game, but we just couldn't like actually convert it into flag caps. We ended up losing that like 3-2 when we had so many opportunities. Like we blundered a lot of caps that game. And then the game 3 was another like blunder. I felt we lost that oddball recharge like just barely, and it was just some like OBJ mistakes, I'd say, and just some unfortunate things. But that was literally our first series as a team on land, so it was honestly a good showing. You can win a series with like losing the series, if that makes sense. Like we came out of that series, I'd say, with a win, even though we lost the series game 5. It was a really good series just for our first tourney together, our first land match, and then literally against Optic, I mean, not the reigning world champs, but you know, they're a top team. Yeah, we went to like quadrant, and out of nowhere, just like some drums start beating, and like there's some chants, and I'm like, dude, am I in a European like football match or something? What's going on here? It was sick, bro. Like the atmosphere was sick.
Could you hear the drums and the trumpets through the white noise?
Yeah, definitely. It was getting picked up probably in our microphones, so then you would hear it through your headphones. Like, so I don't know. It was sick. I loved being a part of that, even though like they were only doing it for quadrant, but you're still a part of it. Like we're literally a part of what's happening right now. Felt like we were just like underground Halo, like almost like an underground like fight club or something like that. Like
I use the same words.
Yeah, we're literally in like this basement room with like surrounded. Usually you just have the crowd in front of you, but we're like literally surrounded. People would throw like an egg at my monitor if they really wanted to. Like that's how close they are, and they could just see my screen, like the raw screen, the raw reactions out of the player and stuff like that. So I don't know. I thought the atmosphere was definitely super sick, and that quadrant series, kind of wish they were playing the drums during the matches, because like that would have just made for some crack gameplay, I felt like. But I didn't find it distracting or anything like that. I just loved it.
So usually going into a tournament, there's a hearty conversation online about who's got the pool of death. In London, there was no question. You guys were that pool of death. How do you feel about having that marked for you guys? Would you rather have an easy pool, or would you rather have a difficult pool like that?
I've definitely always said having the harder pool is like better, because then if you get top 2 in that pool, you don't have to play that team. That team's going to be in the opposite side of the bracket. So we had Optic in our pool, so that means no matter what, if we get top 2 or first or second, they're going to be on the opposite side of the bracket. So that's always the way I've looked at it. And obviously, like, you have a chance to beat a good team in the first day of the tournament, which is huge. Like, I'm coming here to like win these tournaments, you know. So I think just having the opportunity to play a team like Optic in pool play, a team like Spacestation in Winners Round 1, that's like I get to play them now, and to make this like run even like easier if I do come away with this win. So I've always kind of liked being in the pool of death. As long you have to make sure you get top 2, because you don't want to start in loser bracket, either first or second. You have to do that. So yeah, I've always kind of liked the harder pools though for that reasoning.
Yeah, I feel like running into a tough team early just means you have a chance to steal their seed, because if you beat them, then like you just play who they were going to play the rest of the tournament. So I definitely agree with that mentality. So speaking of that, getting into bracket play, you guys do run into SSG. You guys come out hot. You win the first 2 games. And then after game 2, you stand up and embody the copy pasta meme and become Darth Bubu the Dubu for a moment. Who on their team were you making eye contact with during that forced choke? And was that planned or just like an in the moment type thing?
Earlier, like I like to listen to like musicals and stuff, like soundtracks before, like at tourney days. I was listening to a soundtrack called like Duel of Fate, or the Duel of Fates. It was like a Star Wars soundtrack, and I was kind of listening to that like throughout the morning for the day. And then we played Diagram's team in our last pool play match, and I was just joking around with him, like fake force choking him like before our match, and he was kind of just like fake doing that one. Now we were just like messing around. I'm a pretty goofy dude.
Yeah,
and
sure.
I think like just being on this team in general, like being comfortable with the guys I'm with, they definitely like bring the best out of me. Like on media day, I'm always just super goofy. We were doing like vlogs with Sentinels. I was being goofy. Like I think that just comes with like being around the people I'm around. It's kind of harder when you're around like teammates that you don't really get along with as well. So yeah, I mean, first of all, they just make me comfortable and I can be my true authentic self. And then I was joking around with Diagram that morning before our match, doing it to him. And then yeah, I guess after we won that game too, my natural instinct was just to stand up and like have a pop off and just start doing that. That was literally just my natural instinct. Like, and I think a lot of people got it twisted. Like they thought I was like celebrating. Like that wasn't like me celebrating. I was just like part of the game to me. Like I don't know, like just to stand up and in the middle of the series,
in their face or get in their
just
head.
like get in their face, and it was kind of just like my natural reaction. I don't know. Like I definitely wasn't celebrating or anything like that. I knew we haven't won the series yet, and it definitely does like piss me off that we didn't finish the series off. But I don't regret standing up and doing that at all. Like that was literally just part of the game to me, like standing up and having a pop off. Yeah, to answer your question, I was doing it to Eco for no like specific reason. I just stood up and he was the first person I saw.
Eco catching strays.
He didn't even look at me. I don't think they even like knew I was doing that. I think he was just like still talking to his team, like looking at his monitor. And I was definitely giving him like that. Just, I mean, you saw the video. Like I was locked in. I was locked in just in the moment.
It's pretty awesome. I mean, it's pretty much gone viral. Like I saw Jake Lucky like quote tweeted it.
I got to give a shout out real quick to Jared, or the ones of Jared. He's the one that caught it on camera. That was his video, and he caught it in slow motion. So without him, that video wouldn't have happened. So
like to have the high FPS to slow it down as well.
Exactly.
Like the forethought. That's awesome.
Yeah, huge shout out to Jared. He's he was in the right place at the right time.
So this is Cardboard's edit. So Bort, I don't know if you know who he is, but he's like a mouse and keyboard
haven't
guy.
seen this video yet.
He plays with an Azeron, but he's hilarious, dude. He makes all kinds of funny videos, but this was his edit of the video.
We're giving you clairvoyance enough to find the rebels' hidden fort. Enough of this. Vader, release him.
As you wish.
That's pretty good.
So yeah,
Pretty good.
there's that one, and then this one's probably my favorite one though. Have you seen this one yet?
I saw that one. I got tagged on Instagram with this one.
Let's watch it again real quick.
Oh, he's being eco right now. Okay, with the Spacestation jersey.
Bites his bottom lip, dude.
That's pretty good.
What did you say at the very end? It looked like a fuck, like just like a hearty fuck. What was that exactly?
I was like, I hate you. No, I said fuck. I said fuck off me.
Okay, that's okay. Nice.
I like that.
I wish I would have said like, you underestimate my power or something like that. But,
Well, there's always Atlanta.
yeah.
Now you got to bring it to the next level at the next tournament. You got to come up with something else. I don't know.
Was the orientation of the main stage part of this moment? There was so much talk about that online. Some people hated it. I gave my opinion on LVT Halo, and chat roasted me for the main stage setup. I said it was my favorite yet. Was that a part of how this was possible? And what were your thoughts on the main stage setup?
Yeah, like I said earlier, like it just felt like underground Halo to me. Like it definitely would have been sicker to be in a better like room. Don't get me wrong, like it needed to look nicer, but just being like face to face with each other was definitely sick. I think you would see a lot more like out of me like doing stuff like that if I made like deeper runs in attorneys and like beating a top team. Like I don't know, we haven't really been doing that as of late, so you don't really get to see stuff out of me particularly. But yeah, I think if you saw deeper runs out of me at tournaments, you would definitely see a lot more stuff like that, even if we're not like sitting face to face like that.
You mentioned you could hear the trumpets and the drums. Could you hear some of the trash talk as well? Or was that more of just like verbally reading people's lips?
So not on main stage, you can't really hear trash talk, but on the side stations, I don't know if you saw, I say the side station was definitely like probably the worst like part of the venue. It was almost like we were in like a gym. We could actually kind of hear the other team like pre-game. We were playing against Cloud9 and I can like faintly hear what they're like saying, what they're doing off the start. And like,
wow.
Yo, this is not supposed to be happening right now. Like,
Oh, that's
what
not
do I
good.
hear them?
That's shocking to hear.
I don't know if they could hear us either because we played Cherished or Reversal Perfy or Loser Round 1. Both map 1 and map 2, Allocated and Precision had like a shot where like they do something together, right? And they both just get pre-nated like hard and like insta-killed like off the start of both of them. And I don't know if it's because they heard us or our strat just sucked, but yeah,
Wow.
we definitely we're like able to faintly hear some words come out of like the opponent's mouth like before a match. And then also, if a team is just getting really hype, you can like sometimes when you're that close to each other, like what they're saying can like if someone's yelling like "dead" like really loud, you can hear like the dead get picked up in your own like microphone and the earbuds. So sometimes that happens as well.
I can think back to like Sparty screaming from one side of the main stage to the other, but like you can't even hear what he's saying. Anyways, like I don't know. It's a little bit different, right?
At other events, you definitely can't hear a word like the other person's saying. You're that far away from each other. So
Yeah.
it was definitely a lot different over here in London.
Spacestation need to regroup here. They need to get numbers back on the map, but Sentinels want to try and hunt them down. They want to try and keep this pressure on, and why wouldn't you, as Foul gets the 49th. It's 1 kill to go here for Sentinels, not just to win this game, Andy, but to go 2 up in the series.
And guess what? They can just bait Camo here. A 4-kill lead at 49. That's going to be it. They don't even need to bait the Camo. Sentinels takes game number 2.
Look at Bubu!
They close it out. Bubu exchanging some choice words.
We talk about the pop off, and it was a lot of fun. You mentioned that you're a little pissed off that you guys ended up losing it. Like, what do you think happened for games 3 through 5? Was your team just losing steam, or did SSG just catch fire? Like, what happened there?
Yeah, I mean, I want to say like if you're gonna judge something, judge like the actual gameplay. I see people online like judging me for standing up and stuff before we even won the series. But why don't you like judge what actually happened in the games? Like, how did we lose? You know, nobody wants to talk about that. They just want to talk about me standing up. But which I don't really care. Like, yeah, I'm just saying that. But dude, it was so unfortunate, man. Like, game 3 starts, or there was a pause. There's like 5-minute pause. I think they went to go collect themselves. After game 2, they like all 4 stood up and went to the bathroom together.
After getting force choked,
Yeah.
Yeah, basically they went to go collect themselves, like catch their breath after getting choked like that.
Well, something interesting to mention here. You can see Sentinels smiling, understandably so, 2-0 up in the series on the main stage, sat in their seats, ready to go. SSG have just stepped away. They've taken that opportunity to step away and just collect their thoughts away from the main stage. And they did something similar in Arlington in a grand final, and then they won a few games in a row that took them to a championship.
They came back, and it was rigged strongholds or interference strongholds, game 3. And dude, we had a pretty good start. I don't know what the score was. I haven't watched it back yet. But all I remember is we had full control. I think we got the first OS. We had like somewhat of a lead. It was still pretty early in the game, so anything can happen. But basically, I was alive, and Falcator was like fighting 2 people. I think he hit them both weak. And I'm running past him, and I have like 2 thrusts left. Like I'm probably about to hit a spree or something. Like I don't know. I just felt really comfortable and in control at the moment. Like we had full map control. Everything felt comfortable. We had them like on their heels. You know, up 2-0 in the series, and I run through his Spartan as he's throwing a plasma grenade, and I'm not even on his screen yet.
No.
And that plasma grenade sticks me right in the back, and it doesn't kill him, but it obviously kills me while we have full map control and stuff. And then he ends up dying like pretty much right after that, and then that's how they got like control back. And then I don't know, just the way Strongholds plays like in this meta with bandits and how fast everything is, and especially interference. Like once you have control, like you can pretty much just keep it for the rest of the game. It's just split spawns and keep map control, get the overshields, the power-ups. Like that's pretty much what happened. I think there was one more chance for us to make a comeback later in the game. I don't know how late it was, but we definitely blundered like an overshield grab that we should have had. Maybe with that overshield we could have got control and went on another run, but yeah, that was very, very unfortunate being stuck like that. And you know, they made us pay for it. One mistake.
Momentum has completely shifted. It is a triple cap that came in for a few seconds, and then 1v1s, then team kills started to happen. And all of a sudden, you can see SSG have held this triple for quite some time, and the score is about to flip as well. Sentinels find themselves 3 dead, and you can see Legend, he's chasing down the final kill on Bubu as well.
Wow, I mean, an unbelievable run here coming in from SSG. They were also...
And then game 4 was recharge King of the Hill, and we go down 2-0, and then we cap the next hill, and then the 4th hill is like C plat. And from what I can remember, like I had shock rifle, and I think I sniped like down bottom mid, and I was kind of like heating up. And we're only down 2-1. Like for some reason, and I think this is probably one of the like flaws of my gameplay, is like I'll do like too much OBJ sometimes when I just need to run around and like open up the map, and I have a shock rifle, I can get some more snipes. But yeah, I just went in the hill, and I basically just got average, like Nate shot it from cellar, like behind me or something like that. And that was like a chance. We have full map control to go up or tie the game 2-2 and possibly have like like battle for that last spot on mid hill, but instead like I felt like that one average death just like really snowballed us like hard, and they capped the hill. And then we ended up just losing the game because there's barely any time left, and then they capped the last hill. So we lost that game 4-1. I'd say one thing I learned from the series is like we should have stood up and took like a timeout, like going into the map 5. We literally just sat down and went straight into the next map. We should have probably learned or did what they did like after map 2 and just take a breather, take a walk real quick, reset, and come back. But yeah, we just went straight into map 5 and full momentum on their side. I mean, it's almost like taking a timeout in an NBA game. Like when a team's going on a run on you, like the coach always takes a timeout. Kind of felt like we needed that, like a little 5 minutes or something, just to collect ourselves again. But yeah, the map 5 was actually also pretty close. They just kind of like had a lead and were trading out the rest of the game, which that team specifically is pretty good at just guaranteeing trades when they have a lead.
Want to give the viewers a chance to hear some of your origin story. So we're going to go way back in time and tell us, how did you first get into gaming as a young lad, and how did you come up with your gamer tag?
I have 2 older brothers, and my dad told them, not me, I don't know why, but just for them, if they played like violin at our church for like a concert or whatever, then our parents would buy them an Xbox or a PlayStation. And first game ever was like Sega GT 2001 or 2002, something like that. It's like the racing game. And we just played like a lot of racing games at first. Eventually got into like shooters. We played like a lot of Star Wars, like Battlefront, Republic Commando. That's still literally one of the best games ever, like Republic Commando. And then just games like Jedi Outcast. That was another really good game. And I remember like being so young, and every morning before church, there would be this show on G4. I don't even know what the show was called, but it was like competition before you would ever see like video game competition. Like I don't know, like it was my earliest memory of seeing gaming competitions, and they were just playing like Jedi Outcast, which is like the game we played a lot, and they would play against each other and like have teams and stuff and play on LAN, and then just play, and like the winners get like a copy of the game or something like that, like something. But it was just so sick to like watch because I think me and my brothers were so competitive, and yeah, eventually we got into Halo. My first time playing Halo was like at our neighbor's house. They were playing like Halo 2 free for alls on Lockout.
Yes.
These are literally just like casual like kids, and Halo 2 Lockout free for all, I guess, was just that like it's just that big of a thing. Like everyone played it.
Yep.
So yeah, I remember going there, and like me and my brothers were like already pretty good on the sticks just from playing so many other games. So when we played Halo, it kind of felt like natural. We didn't actually own Halo until Halo 3 came out. Our dad bought my brother a 360 for like Christmas or his birthday in like 2008. So we had finally got Halo 3. We grinded like offline Halo 3 for like a year. We didn't even have Xbox Live yet. We just played offline Halo 3, like custom games, like Sandtrap. Like we'd put max speed, no gravity, with random weapons, and just run around Sandtrap for hours. And eventually, like we really wanted to play Xbox Live, but our parents didn't really like want us to play Xbox Live. Like they thought it would be a bad influence on us.
Smart.
Yeah. And then eventually we like convinced them to let us play. And then I remember I made my gamer tag on January 1st, 2009. That was literally the day I remember, just because it was the first day of the year. It was the new year. I just put in BUBU DUBU for like no real reason. Like at first I put in BUBU for my gamer tag, and it was already taken. So then I just put in like BUBU space DUBU. Like let's see if that's taken. Oh, it wasn't. All right, bet. Like that's my gamer tag now. Like there's no like real meaning to it, I guess. I just wanted to be I just wanted to be my name to be BUBU. So like I thought it was kind of like silly. So I was like, yeah, once I figure out what I really want to be named, like I'll change it. Like this is just like a placeholder until I know what I want to be named. But then eventually, when I started getting into lobbies and Halo and stuff like that, like I got a lot of like attention from it just because it was like a funny gamer tag. So I ended up just like sticking with it.
That's sick. Yeah, I think you told us that story at some point in the G1 days. But
Yeah.
You mentioned your 2 older brothers. You told me you have something like 8 siblings. How many siblings do you have?
Yeah, I have 2 older brothers, 3 younger brothers, and 1 younger sister.
And we know Clay also competes.
Shout out Clay.
He's very good. I feel like if he like really dedicated himself and like grinded, he could be sick at the game for sure. I mean, talk a little bit about him, and do you have any other siblings that compete in any way?
My two older brothers were gamers, and I'd say like my oldest brother was like my duo growing up. My other older brother didn't really like grind Halo as much with us. Like, sometimes he did, but like he more played like other single player games and stuff like that. But then my oldest brother is gamertag with JPM Spartan, and we were literally like the duo. People probably remember playing against, because we played like a lot of Team SWAT back in Halo 3. So I think people probably remember us to this day. Like they'll talk about like our SWAT days, and then I'll mention JPM Spartan, and they're like, "Oh, I didn't know that was your brother." But yeah, that's my older brother. He's 4 years older than me. I just remember back in the day, like we would fight and just get so like competitive, and we'd be playing split screen too. So we're sitting right next to each other playing split screen. I was always the bottom screen, he was the top screen, and we played team doubles, team SWAT, team Slayer. I remember I wanted to play, because I was younger than him, so I wanted to play like Infection and stuff and like fun customs, Ice Cream Truck. And he's like, "No, dude, we're playing team doubles." And like I'm like, "Dude." So we're just playing team doubles. Like he's just competitive, and he's kind of like, I don't know. I felt like he was really just my training partner, and I wouldn't have like got to where I was like back then without him for sure. We didn't even like get 50s right away. We started from scratch, and like I was like a brigadier general. What was like the colonel one, a master colonel or something?
Something like that.
You would max out your XP before you hit that next level. That's pretty much what we did, and we really did start from zero and like get as good as we could like at the time. And then Clayton, he's my other brother, which is he's younger than me. Yeah, I told him, dude, straight up, like, you are good enough to go pro. The thing is, like, he couldn't really take it as serious because he has to kind of like work a full-time job, even though he's so young, and like get by. And he like moved out of our parents or our mom's house at a pretty young age. Like, he definitely wasn't set up to like have success at all. Just growing up, I guess, in the environment like he did. And also, like, yeah, I don't know. I definitely did tell him though, I was like over and over again, I was like, man, if you didn't have to worry about anything and you could just like lock in on Halo, like if I could just, I didn't offer him this, but I was like, dude, if I could, or someone could pay your bills somehow, you got salary from playing the game, like I know you could be literally better than me. But it's just unfortunate, you know, life happens. And
there's definitely a lot of like luck and opportunity and circumstance that comes into everything in life, really. But I've had like he'll get matched on my team in matchmaking or against me in matchmaking, and he's always popping off. Like I think the last time I saw him, he was on my team and went like 20-5 in a recharge Slayer. Guy was just popping off. I'm like, well, thanks for the carry, dude. Like
100%.
I haven't even seen him since. I feel like he hasn't even been playing recently.
Yeah, I don't think he has been. He's just been grinding IRL, literally.
It seems to be a common theme in a lot of these podcasts when we ask people about their like upbringings and like origin stories, like the older brother story. And it, like I can relate to it too, because it's kind of the same story. My older brother used to kick my ass in like every game we played growing up, and I just like hated it. Like we were throwing N64 controllers into the walls and like leaving dents in the, like I think we like literally left holes in the walls of my brother's room in the house we grew up in from like fighting over video games. And yeah, it just drove me to want to get better and better until I could beat him. And then turns out I could beat a lot more people because of that. But it's just interesting, the older brother effect. Like you called him a sparring partner almost, like someone that just challenges you day in, day out.
I gotta owe some of my disciplined gameplay to him, because if I made like a dumb play or stupid play, like he would literally slap me on the back of the head like mid game. And then I'd be like, I would get so fed up, I would just tackle him like when the game ended, because he would do it mid match. Like, dude, what are you doing? Like if I had a dumb death, he'd slap me in the back of the head, and then I would literally tackle him, and we'd like just be like fighting it out. And then the next game would start, we'd hear like doot doot doot, doot, and then like we both pick up our controllers again and just calling out.
That's actually
that's awesome, man. Some of these are my favorite things about the podcast, man. I love hearing these stories. Was it with you and your younger and older brothers that you guys found MLG and competitive Halo, or was that something that you found on your own?
I mean, we found out about it from the MLG playlist in Halo 3, like me and my older brother. But once Halo Reach came out, like that's when he was turning 16 or 18 or something like that. He was just getting older, basically, and he played drums at our church and had like other stuff going on, so he kind of had to like step away from Halo. But I leaned into Halo when he left, and I was like, oh, finally I get my own screen now. Like I don't have to play split screen anymore. And I just grinded it and kind of like found Twitch and Justin.tv, and like, yeah, pretty much just I leaned more into it and that's how I found out. And like I really, it was like my dream to one day compete and not even go pro, but just compete, like go out there and compete. That's all I really wanted to do.
I was combing through your early days on the Halo wikis, and I know there might have been more stuff on here, but that it doesn't actually show that you competed in. But on your third result, you're with Frosty in an online tournament for Halo 2 anniversary. This is back in 2014, and by the way, this is his first recorded result on his page. So I'm just curious, like, how did you link up with, like, can you remember how you linked up with Frosty back then? And what's it like to still be competing against him to this day?
I remember Frosty, like from Reach, we would match each other sometimes in like the playlist. Never like, or I remember him, he played with like Suspector a lot in Halo Reach. And I played with Suspector in Halo 4 after Reach. Yeah. So I kind of like saw his gamertag from that, but then before Master Chief Collection came out, like H2A, everyone was grinding Halo 3 on the 360 still before like the Xbox One came out. And I matched Frosty. That's also when I was like kind of was matching Shotzzy too. Like me and Shotzzy hung out a lot playing Halo 3. And then Frosty played Halo 3 too, so we would like search with him. And then those other guys named Little Skills we would search with. And then eventually there was like some jaywalk tourneys which isn't on this wiki page, but those jaywalk tourneys for like $1,000 or something on Halo 3 before MCC came out. And it was like me, It's So Frosty, and then the original Frosty, like George Frosty. And we would have like a fourth, I think we might have played with like Thuggish Killer or something. But yeah, we would just make like random squads. And that's kind of like how I knew Frosty. And then going into H2A, or I think me and Frosty actually played like a 2v2 tournament one time too that we played pretty good in. I can't quite remember, it was so long ago, but yeah, we were just like playing Xbox Live party chats and stuff like that. We weren't like teammates or a duo, we would just run matchmaking. And then eventually like H2A came out and we played that one tournament together. But I didn't actually go to any of the lands. I think he ended up going to one of the lands with
The Sudeths.
Or he went with Rabid for the first one, and then he went with Sudeths with like his second one, I think. Because he did good in like the free for all. I think he got like second.
Shout out to Georgie Porgy, by the way, the original Frosty. Man, I could tell you guys some hilarious stories with with that guy. Man, we almost died at a tournament together multiple times, but
What?
Sounds fun. He's a pretty wise person. Like I feel like like at the time I definitely learned like from him just playing like with him so much.
Yeah, for sure. So the throwback, this is like 2007. I'm like 16 years old. George is probably like 18, 19, I guess. I think he's like a little bit older than me. And we're teaming with Boo. I think it was in New York playoffs that year. And Boo offered us to stay at his house, and he lives in Queens. We decide that while we're there, we're hungry, so we got to go find some chips. We decide to go into a liquor store, I guess, and there's like people legitimately fighting at the cashier. One of them actually like starts brandishing his gun at the cashier, like while we're in the back, just trying to.
Oh my gosh!
We're like trying to buy potato chips, bro. And there's just all this crazy commotion happening at the register, and eventually they just like, dude, me and George are in the back of the store, like picking out chips, and all this is going on. We're just looking at each other like, what the is going on? And then finally they like yell something and then they just leave. And then the cashier is just totally nonchalant about it. Like it happens every day. He's like, oh yeah, what would you like? It's like, it was the weirdest experience. And then fast forward to Sunday, we oversleep and our flight was in like 45 minutes from the time that we woke up, and we are not close to the airport. We call a cab and we tell the cab driver to get us to the airport as fast as possible so we wouldn't miss our flight. And this dude took it so seriously. He was driving like 80, 90 miles an hour, weaving in and out of traffic in New York, like around semi trucks. Dude, I'm like holding onto the back seat, like doing this, like, and me and George are just looking at each other like, man, this is the second time that we're about to die this weekend. Like, we made our flight though. So shout out to that cab driver.
He knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing.
Side quest accepted.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, no, George, I miss that guy. I think he's just grinding poker these days. But one of my good friends from back in the day for sure.
Yeah, you could tell he was just like a veteran, like, and I was a newcomer. So I definitely took that opportunity to play with someone like him who's competed so much to like just learn.
Yeah. Yeah, you could learn a lot just hanging out, being a fly on the wall with him for sure.
Exactly.
Jesse, around this time, who was your biggest inspiration to get into Halo and get better at Halo?
I've always just respected like greatness and just greats, like people who won a lot. Like, so definitely like Ogre 2, Pistola, Roy, Lunchbox, Victor X, Fear Yourself, like kind of the people that were winning between like 2010 and 2011. And then like Formal came on the scene, Halo Reach, and like Heinz, or Heinz didn't come on, but I looked up to him, APG, like Ninja, Lethal, like just people who were winning. Like I always looked up to them, and I think I did emulate my gameplay a lot through Pistola because he was like the superstar back then, and you know everyone loved him, and I definitely loved him growing up. And watching his gameplay definitely like inspired me. Just like his ability to like, he would like be in your base, but he would be surviving for so long. Like that's kind of like how I play my gameplay. Like I get in your base and I just try to survive, and I buy time, and I shoot people in the side. I don't chase. Like I kind of let the game like come to me, and it's kind of like this flow. And then Ogre 2, like someone who just like plays for the win. Like I know in Halo 1 and Halo 2, or I don't know, but I've heard like he was just one of the best slayers in the game. But like later when I started watching, he was more like a role player, and he was like a support OBJ. Like he just did whatever it took. He would be in the right position at the right time. And I definitely like looked at his gameplay. I'm like, why does this guy win so much? Well, I just need to like figure out how he's playing, and I definitely like try to learn from each player and like see how they play the game. Just whoever was winning at the time.
Makes a lot of sense. Yeah, Ogre 2. I mean, I've always been a visual learner and like just would always like to watch the best in the world. I feel like that's definitely shaped a lot of my playstyle. And it makes a lot of sense. I mean, you've got so much experience. Your wiki seems to go on forever and ever, even though you've only been in since 2013. But it's like you just compete in literally everything.
Yeah, I basically just haven't stopped. Yeah, since then. I guess we could talk about the first event. It was kind of a cool story.
Sure.
So, I'm trying to remember how I even like got on the scene. Oh yeah, so Halo 4 came out, and me and Suspector became like a little duo, like on Halo 4, and then we were kind of like going through different teammates and stuff like that, and eventually like we found Rage Rages, and then Rage Rages teamed with Tragic, and this was when like Halo was kind of dead at the time. Yeah, AGL was like hosting these like little mini tourneys, stuff like that, like the LANs. I asked my dad, I was like, can I go to like a LAN event? You know, like I really want to like compete. This is literally all I did, like spending all my time growing up, like playing Halo. And all I wanted to do for the past couple of years is like go to a tournament and compete, you know? And Nashville was like an 8-hour drive from us, like Louisiana. So he eventually like said, yes, like we can go. Like, I was like, okay, so I can tell my teammates can go, right? And he's like, yeah, just tell your teammates, like, you know, we'll be able to make it. And then tell my teammates, we started practicing, like not bad. And then literally like the day before the tournament, like, I don't have a cell phone or anything like that. The day before the tournament, I asked my dad, like, yo, are we still going? Like, and he's like, yeah, I don't, like, he just doesn't give me a straight answer. He doesn't know yet. And then basically the reasoning like behind that is because like he had no money at the time. Like literally, like our bank account was like negative. Our family bank account was negative, and like they had a paycheck that was hitting that like 12 a.m. like that night. Just like a couple $100 probably. And I have like so many siblings. Like we left at 12 a.m. in the car, like just to get to the tournament because like he needed gas money, obviously. Like we didn't have it before. So he drove me like 8 hours at 12 a.m. I slept in the car just to get to the tournament. And looking back at it, like as an older person, like it was definitely probably super stressful for him. So like he's spending like little amount of money he had just to like get me into a tournament. But I think just the fact that he told me I could say yes to like my teammates, he knew like other people were like pretty much depending on me to show up, you know what I mean? And like he did not want to be the guy that like let other people down and like let me down by, I guess, going back on his word. Definitely a shout out to my dad. Like if I did not go to that tournament, I probably would have just been one of those people that flaked on their teammates and never got picked up again, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
if I didn't make it out tournament, like literally I don't think I am where I am today. And
wow.
Yeah, we drive 8 hours and literally get there at like 8 a.m. and our first match is like 5 minutes and it's against like Ninja's team and full play. And then I just sit down and I'm playing freaking Ninja and Warriors. Like I don't know, it was pretty sick. But that was definitely, if that didn't happen, like if my dad just like didn't take me to the tournament, yeah, I would have been shocked a long time ago.
Great story, honestly. Yeah, looking at the tournament results here, you guys got top 12. How many teams were at this, you think?
Those 64.
64. Okay, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, it wasn't bad for
For your
sure.
first LAN, absolutely. A lot of big names in here. You know, this first year of your career, like you're getting a lot of 9 through 16s, and then you end up with Predevinator, who you ended up teaming with in Halo Infinite as well. But this is 2016, the last qualifier before the regional finals, with Predevinator, Hook, and Contra. You guys get top 16, but then you guys stick together, and then you get second at the regional finals, and then stick together, and then you get fourth at the World Championship. Where did this jump come from? Like, did you guys know that you were better than this 9 through 16, and you just stuck it out, and then finally executed at the next tournament, or what happened there?
Yeah, I think that team was just like, I don't know, we just got buffed on LAN for whatever reason. Like, these online tourneys, like you could see, I went from like team to team basically, or me and Hugh ended up being on a duo. Then we went to team together, but yeah, it was pretty consistent, just top 16, and then that one top 32, and then yeah, I think Contra, Devin, myself, and Hook, we were just, I don't know, we were just buffed on LAN. Like I can't explain it. Like we honestly weren't that good in practice. We didn't really perform like in that last tourney together, but for whatever reason, we just were gonna LAN. And a team at the beginning of Halo 5 actually was like Self, Kratos, Nemesis, and Commonly. Yeah. And each of them got like an offer because we were pretty good online. Like at the beginning of Infinite, we were like kind of like going like splitting terms with pro teams and stuff like that. And when none of us were pro at the time, and people were just like noticing we were pretty good and like making roster changes, and like one by one, each of them get poached by a roster. I think Kratos was the first. He went to Allegiance with like Naded, and then second, like commonly, is asked to join like Hysteria and I think Spartan's team. And then eventually he got picked up on EG, and then Nemesis got picked up on Elevate with like Goofy and I think Munoz and someone else. And then like literally, I was just sitting there with no offer. I was just sat there. I'm like, damn, all my teammates just got picked up, and like no one's offering me. So I played that first tourney with a pickup team. It was like me, Jesse Unleashed, Chaser, and Omega, and we did like decent, top 16. Like that was enough to like give me points to like get picked up on another decent team. And then that's when I got picked up by like Aries, Hugh, and Jesse Peace. We were decent. We got top 16 twice in a row, but like me and Hugh had a combo with each other, just saying like we can definitely make it to regionals with this team, but I don't think we're gonna make the worlds. Like we both kind of agreed on that. Like we got to make a move because like we're not trying to just qualify for regionals, which was the top 16 teams. We're trying to qualify for worlds, which you have to get top 8 at regionals. And so yeah, we genuinely believe we had to make a move. And then we went to Gabriel and Mr. Blakers. That didn't really like work out as we thought it would. And then that's when like last second we were looking at the points list and just seeing what are our options. And like either Contra or Devin like DM'd me asking like, yo, should we run it? Because I think they were having like the same thing we were going through, and just trying to make like the best roster possible to qualify for worlds. Like we didn't want to qualify just for regionals. Like we didn't be in a position to qualify. We qualify as the 11th seed for the regional tournament, and we get put in a pool with like Envy, Winter Fox, and EG. Which, I mean, looking back at it, like everyone expected it to be Envy and EG to make it out of the pool, and it was definitely probably the pool of death though. Looking back at it, knowing like what we know now, and yeah, we had a really good series versus Envy. We beat them like 3-1. We 3-0'd Winter Fox and lost to EG, and then just kept that run alive. And we won like a game 5 versus Liquid in Winners Round 1, like game 7 versus Allegiance in Winners Round 2. It was honestly like one of my favorite tournaments. That's why I can remember it so well, just because it was literally my first pro tournament, and it was like a genuine crowd. Like I remember there was a BUBU DUBU chant in the grand finals after I made that camo play, and it was just, yeah, definitely one of the best tournaments and one of my favorite tournaments, and I'll always remember it.
They need to be in here right now, so actually they're going to cap it really quick with 3 players in here. Great play by BUBU. Honestly, I mean, that shows, even though he's a new young gun, He thought out the entire strategic play there to leave bottom mid, go for Camo. Very good strategy. These players have no clue what's going on right now. This is a veteran play right here out of a young gun.
Wow.
Incredible double kill by BUBU DUBU.
What ridiculous stuff we are seeing from BUBU DUBU. And look at your score, ladies and gentlemen, as the BUBU DUBU chance starts here in Columbus. It is
Probably where the moniker like best camo player in the game came from, huh?
Yeah.
Probably started with that.
Yeah, even if I make a bad camo play, or like even if I stuck with camo for like a year straight, people are still gonna say I'm the best camo player just because of that.
Yep.
It's pretty funny.
The Hunter says it every time you pick it up. Like you've probably gone back and watched us cast and heard it like every time.
My favorite moment was on Aquarius when Camo was still on it, and I'm like 1 in 1,000, right? I mean, not 1 in 1,000, but like 1 in 100 calls. We're like, all right, here we go. It's the best Camo player in the world, and he's got it in his suit. And then you hit an overkill, and it was just like, oh, that was like one of my favorite moments ever. I don't know if you remember that on Aquarius. I forget who that was against. It might have even been Frosty and company, but
I think it was. I think I literally remember what you're talking about. Where the fourth guy came flying out window, and I was like, they're front base, and I think I got an overkill.
Yep. Yeah, that was the one. I don't know if we can find that and play that back, but that was a good one. I mean, not only are you, in my eyes, the best player with Camo, but the way I remember in Halo 5, I think, again, this was against Frosty, you like slid, and this is when I was scouting you. This is back in season 1, and I was like, we got to go pick up BUBU DUBU. He's the most insane player in the world. I've never seen anybody do this. And what you did was, this was on that one map. It's a lot like Midship, but it's got a lot of greenery, shrubbery around it. I forget what the name is of it. Not maybe yeah, Truth.
Oh, Regret. You're talking about Halo 5?
I think it's Regret. Regret.
It was Regret. That was like the Truth remix, basically.
It had overshield, very, very bottom mid.
Yeah, and bottom mid, yeah.
Dude, you literally slid underneath, which I didn't even know you could do based on the physics and the contact, but you slid underneath Frosty, grappled like back up onto the OS platform and grabbed him right underneath his nose. And I was like, nobody else can do this in Halo. We need to get BUBU DUBU. What is it about not only you with power-ups, but just like your ability to set up for it? I mean, you seem to be the best at that too, and maybe that makes sense why you're one of the best camo players and OS players in the world is because you're one of the best at grabbing it too. Yeah, definitely would say there's like a skill to like getting it and just grabbing it in general and like being the person like ready to grab it. Like, I don't know, a lot of players are like, I don't want to be that guy. Like, I don't want to get it, even though it's like super important. Like, I don't know, but I basically just like lean into it. I'm like, yo, I'm going to go for this every single time. Like, we got to make sure we get it because power-ups are literally like so important to like winning a game of Halo. Like Halo 5, Halo Infinite, it's like the same thing. And going against people that understand that for so long, like I'll just mention like a few names. It's probably like Snakebite, Penguin, and I mean Trippy does it like
Trippy.
There's definitely other players that are just like really annoying and really just good at always being on top of it. So it kind of like it makes you have to be on top of it because like, you know, why are we winning or losing this game? Like, okay, it's a lot of times we're just not getting the power-ups. Like you have to figure out a way to get these power-ups if you want to win these games. And like that's the way I kind of see it sometimes. So I'm a timer. Like I literally time everything already, like naturally for some reason. Other players, like they don't even know like stuff is coming up, even though the game tells you. But like literally back in Halo 3, back in Halo Reach, like I literally have this internal clock that's always running and I'm timing like everything at all times. And I'm always the one calling it out too to my teammates that something is coming up in 30 seconds, like thinking about it. It's like, it's always in my head. So I think that's one of the reasons, like probably I'm always going for it.
Yeah, I think a casual viewer might not understand like how many things you have to keep juggled in your head at all times as a Halo pro. Like you're keeping track of where your teammates are, where the enemies are spawning, but then you've also got like timers of when people are spawning and then when power weapons and power ups are spawning. And Halo Infinite, like you get a lot of them, but then there's a lot that aren't, like the shoddy and the, you know, stalker on streets come to minds that you've got to just time manually.
Yeah, shock rifle.
Yep.
Thrust,
recharge.
Stuff like that.
So I think that's a skill gap that, you know, kind of holds some players back. Maybe they just can't like hold that many pieces of information in their brain at the same time when they play. And maybe that's because they're like too focused on aiming. I don't know. It's an interesting thought experiment, like the level of mental clarity that you have to just be able to perform like that. I don't know. It's always been so interesting to me.
Yeah, Halo is definitely just like a very fast paced, but it's a fast paced but strategic game. Like you have to come up with strategies and like plays like at a very fast like rate. You know what I mean? So.
Based on like some good information, but also like imperfect information, and then like implied information as well. So there's like layers to the decision making on the fly, and that's why I like watching you play. I feel like you're really good at kind of like almost seeing the play in advance, and then like setting up the conditions to, you know, grab a camo or, you know, guarantee a rocket launcher. You're also predicting what your opponent's going to go for in a lot of spots as well. So there's so many levels to it that at surface value, I think an average viewer might not pick up. But I try to highlight it when I cast.
Yeah, I've definitely heard you highlight it a lot, and that's like that's the kind of casting I do like, because most of my plays don't show up on the stat sheet, at least in the KD sheet. If you look at like oddball time or skull grabs, flag steals, like King of the Hill, occupation time, captures, like, yeah, I'll show up in that stat sheet, but that's like not really the one people care about. A lot of people just care about KD.
Yeah.
But a lot of my stuff shows up in every other stat besides KD. So to see, like, hear people like highlighting, you know, why players are doing this and like good plays that aren't showing up in the kill feed, I've always liked listening to that kind of stuff, because I'm a little biased. That just is always going to like compliment me.
Yeah. Now, you said that you gave me a compliment on my casting after one of the tournaments. I appreciate that. So looking further into your wiki, the following year after 2016, you just came off that 4th place finish at Worlds. And then in 2017, you end up on a few different rosters. I want to skip ahead to the Splyce roster, though. So you start out with Shooter, Falcated, and Shotzzy. You guys have some good success. Later on, Falcated goes away. Not sure if he was dropped or got another offer, but you guys replace him with Renegade. And then that team, that Splyce roster, I think this would be like your first major LAN victory.
Yeah, it was all of our first victories. Shotzzy, Shooter, Renegade, myself, all of our first victories.
So talk me through this time period. What was it that made this team special, and what was it like specifically teaming with Shotzzy?
Going into that roster, you can see like I guess before we picked up Renegade, like it was me, Shooter, Falcated, Shotzzy, competed at St. Louis. We got top 6. And then we got top 8 at Vegas. We won the last chance qualifier to qualify for Worlds, which is actually an insane tournament. We had to like make a loser bracket run to even qualify for the 2017 Worlds in an online LCQ, which only one team qualifies. So we got that, and then we got top 6 at Worlds. And then going into the rest of the season, basically we just felt like we needed to make a team change. I think Shotzzy was getting offered to team with Liquid at the time. We just had to get Renegade because he was just good. So we just got Renegade. And then
why not?
Exactly. And then because it was either like we get Renegade or Shotzzy's gonna leave us. So like I was like, dude, we gotta get Renegade and just make this team like, and it ended up paying off because I didn't realize like how good he was until, you know, we teamed and being on LAN with him. And so yeah, we did pretty good with that team. We got 4th, 1st, and then 3rd as a team. And just teaming with like Renegade, Shotzzy, Shooter. Like, first of all, Shooter's like a super underrated like player. He was like another player that was just, I don't know, he was kind of like a team support, like really just good guy to like have on your team, like someone to just like back you up. And then like Shotzzy and Renegade were just, I don't know, they were just slaying out. Like, one of the things that makes Shotzzy is like such a special player is he's really fast movement. He's really hard to kill, but he literally just like runs at the OBJ like nonstop, and like he's really, really good OBJ player, and he's like one of the most selfless players like you'll ever play with. And I think a lot of his Call of Duty players or teammates say the same thing. He was getting a lot of hate at the beginning of like this Call of Duty season because his stats would like be kind of poor on LAN and stuff like that. But like I don't think people like are understanding like what he's actually doing on the map. Like he's not just statting. If he wanted to stat, like he could, but he's genuinely just being selfless and playing for the team and playing for the win at all times, when maybe if he did stat, you know, his team would actually do better in some scenarios, but that's not the way he sees the game. Like he's going to play the game how he wants to play. And that was definitely one of the things that made it so easy, like playing Hill 5 with him, is like he kind of just makes everyone on your team like 15% better. Like that's the kind of player he is. Like even if he's not putting insane stats out there, like he's making his teammates 10 to 15% better every single time. Just the way he's playing, like the way he's opening the map, and he's causing the other team to like spin circles and like actually look for him and have to pay attention to him. So like the 3 other teammates, they could just like shoot these people like for free basically. So I think that's definitely like the biggest thing about teaming with him is he makes like everyone else pretty much like a lot better.
Yeah, you mentioned actually in another interview that your current teammate Precision reminds you a lot of Shotzzy. What is it about their personalities or play styles that make them similar? And I was just a quick note. I was so impressed with you guys on LAN. In this podcast earlier, you mentioned this was your first time as a team on LAN, and it like kind of took me back by surprise because he seemed to fit right in.
Yeah, I mean, I've loved teaming with Ethan so far. Like, first of all, he just has a really good, like, bright, positive attitude, which obviously is going to make any team better and the vibes better. And then his gameplay is just really fast paced. He's won in Gears of War before, so like you could just tell when playing with him, like he has like the mind of someone that can like figure out how to win. You know what I mean? Like that's like really important. Someone that can just like they're not just gonna win by just playing the game. Like you got to win by like figuring out how to win as a team, and like that's kind of what he can bring to our team. And yeah, I'd say like gameplay wise, the reason I compared him to Shotzzy is just like his individual skill, his movement. Like he has probably one of the best like jiggle peaks in the game right now. I think at the end of that Quadrant series, he was jiggling, I think Snipe Drone or something. That game 5 on Streets was a pretty nasty jiggle peak he had. Probably showed on stream.
On Planners, I think it was.
Yeah. It was on Planners. He jiggle peaked at the end of like a very close game 5. So that was definitely, or that just showcases how good he has at that kind of stuff. And
he was like half shields, I'm pretty sure, when that happened.
Yeah,
and it's
exactly.
like down to the wire. Like he loses that fight, you guys are very likely to lose the game.
Yeah, that's the thing about him. He's just a very hard person to like shoot at in general and kill because he's, you know, abusing this jiggle peak meta and stuff like that.
Precision locks it in. Game 5 victory for Sentinels.
We scouted him a long time ago, just
Years ago.
years ago. As like you just watch his screen, and I mean, you know this from playing Halo forever. Like sometimes you just watch someone's screen, and within like a minute of watching their gameplay, you're like, wow, there's something different about this guy. Like, and I remember like vividly thinking that the first time I stood behind him and watching him play at like the G1 facility, I'm like, dude, this guy is just a monster. Like, looks like an alien the way he plays.
I noticed it a long time ago too when he joined that G1 roster, and then even when he was on like Shopify way back then, you could tell he was like pretty good.
Kind of crazy you bring up that Gears of War parallel, right? There's that wall banging. I don't know if that's actually the tech it's called, but where you take your third person camera and wall bouncing. It almost, you're right. Maybe one of the reasons he's the best peak strafe player in Halo is because he almost takes that sort of movement tech from Gears of War. I mean, that's at least to the naked eye what it looks like.
Yeah, him and also Mental, if you notice, like they're always positioning themselves like near a wall just to be able to like have that annoying jiggle peak. So I definitely would contribute it to them both being Gears of War players.
That's a great observation. That makes perfect sense.
Taking it back to Shotzzy a little bit, do you think if he dedicated himself to Halo today, do you think he'd be like a top 3 level player?
I mean, yeah, by far, 100%. Formal was able to just come back to Halo, so I don't see why Shotzzy couldn't.
Recently, Optic did some kind of like 1v1 show match thing, and he did some like
literally him and Formal in the
360. No scope.
Crazy repulse 360. He hit 2 of them back to back, I'm pretty sure.
To win the game. Yeah.
No, yeah, you don't even see like actual pros doing that kind of stuff. So
right.
Yeah.
It was pretty sick to see.
He's insane, dude. I wish he could, but I'm sure his contract, he's probably stuck with COD for a while. And he probably doesn't have a lot of good reason to switch.
Maybe after COD Champs, because COD Champs is like early in the summer or like midsummer, and then Halo Champs is literally in October. So if he really wanted to, you know, Optic needs to make a roster change. He get picked up.
You know, up on this God squad here, Pistola, Trippy, yourself, and Lucid. And this roster looks like you guys like are very consistently second or third, but never really get a win. What do you think it was about this squad that made that win so elusive for you?
We're just young, I'd say. It was like early in Lucid's and Trippy's career. I'd say like if that was a team now, we'd probably get at least 1 LAN victory. Yeah.
Right.
But, back then it was literally the beginning of both their competitive careers. and we were definitely solid. We would lose like best of sevens to Splyce like 4-2 and stuff like that. And we went to game 7 with the Tox roster at Worlds for top 2. So like we're literally one game away from being in the finals of World Championships. So we were definitely like good and competitive. It's just we weren't at that level yet to be able to clutch up like those important series.
We don't need to go into every single thing, but I mean, one thing that just stands out to me is like you just never stopped. Like you just never stopped competing. It didn't matter. Like Halo 5 dies. Now you're playing throwback Halo 3 in every single tournament.
Game battles.
Yeah, it looks like I played everything.
I mean, I can even think back to like this most recent off season. Like you played in the Boom TV like Halo 3 throwback tournament. Like,
Oh yeah.
would you say that like just taking a step back, just in life in general, is like competing where you find like the most enjoyment? Because I mean, this looks like evidence of that to me. Is like you just never want to stop competing. If there's a tournament, you're going to sign up. Like, what is it about competing that makes you keep coming back?
It's all I've ever known, like since growing up, like was playing Halo, I guess. Like, or ever since I started, I couldn't stop. So I definitely find joy in just like loading up and competing. I'm just a very competitive person in general. I ran a marathon, like that was basically me competing against myself, just like seeing if I could do it. I'd say 1 is I'm just very competitive, and 2, I'm pretty good at Halo, so it's, I don't know, just like a lot of joy in like being good at something, I guess. Yeah, it's just all I've really done like since I started, really, is just play Halo and compete, and it's something that I just want to be able to do, and or like something that like I want to cherish while I'm able to cherish it. I'm not gonna be able to do this forever, so I've put everything I have into this, and I still am. Like, I really, really, really want to win at one of these LAN tournaments, and like I would definitely say maybe I'm not the smartest worker out there, but I do think I am one of the hardest workers. I can say that with 100% confidence. You go, my games played, I'm probably like top 3 games played between all the pros, and even like outside of the game, I'm like reading books and keeping myself like in shape, whether that's helping me or not. Like I believe it is. So I would say like I'm definitely one of the hardest workers out there.
I think that's so important, Jesse. You've been very vocal about that, and it's one thing to have top 3 game time, in-game time, right? But that could lead to burnout. But you balance that with things like reading. You're always running. Every time I check your Instagram stories, you're off on a trail somewhere. So talk to me about how that balance and your physical prowess leads to in-game Halo prowess. Is that a benefit, and how so?
I definitely think it's a benefit once you get older. Like when I was younger, I was able to just play without even moving out of my chair for 12 hours straight. But I think the older you get, the more like these things have an effect on you. So I think it's all about just being the best version of yourself. And like that's really what Halo is. Like it's a game. I don't know, it's a game against yourself. Like you gotta show up and like have like the best state of mind for that best of 5. Like you have to be in that state of mind to like compete, and like you have to have mental clarity. And it's still like something I need to do better. I can be better about it. Like I think there's so many distractions in the world that we live in right now, like social media and our phones, and literally you just wake up and you're already looking at your phone. So yeah, just taking care of yourself, taking care of your mental. Like Halo is a mind game. Like you need to have a sharp mind to be able to like perform at your best. And I definitely think just doing stuff like outside the game can have an effect and like a balance on your in-game performance.
Absolutely. No, I couldn't agree more. I've always respected your outlook on, I mean, not just Halo, but also life. Like you're clearly a hard worker. You're always trying to better yourself. And I mean, it even shows like the way you just said, like, I could be doing better. And I feel like for people that think that way, like
I can.
that's just, well, that you can. And I think that's like, there's a double-edged sword to that, where it's like you beat yourself up for like not being better, but it's also the same driving force that has made you who you are today. So I think, I don't know, you and I are pretty similar in that respect. I don't think I'm as disciplined as you in a lot of things. So I'm still like trying to catch up, but we've talked.
But you're still a pretty hard worker though. I see you doing the lessons and stuff. Literally just you're doing that just to get by. You're streaming, like you're doing lessons. Like, I mean, that's just another way of doing it.
No, I appreciate that you noticed that. Man, really have been grinding the past several months, and people have been saying very kind things to me. But I still have that like thing in the back of my mind that you just said, like I could be doing better, or like I could be doing more. Like it's just like a constant nagging. It's like probably why I do as much as I do, but you're never quite like satisfied with like where you're at, right? So
yeah, I have that voice in my head, like because I do all these things like for my performance, and like because I'm in a very like lucky spot to where I'm getting paid salary from like Sentinels, and like I've been getting paid salary throughout Halo Infinite, so I'm able to literally just lock in and focus on what my job is, which is competing. But I have that like voice in the back of my head like nagging me, like I could be like making YouTube videos, I could be streaming a lot more, like stuff like that. So
yep.
It's always there. Like, and maybe I do need to start doing that kind of stuff. And Sentinels did like vlog London, so that should be pretty cool. But you know, that is one thing I've always wanted to do, is like start like a larger social media presence. I should put work into that. Yeah.
100%, dude. I said this all the way back in 2005. I tried to really egg on a lot of the pros at the time. Guys like Walsh, you remember me, Ogre 1 and 2, probably getting up in their ears about making more content. And my thought process was, well, there's only an event every month, if it's like really consistent, but content can be posted every single day, right? So
yeah, you're right.
And I love your streams, dude. So as long as it doesn't get to a point where you're falling off on the competitive side, but I've always argued that a lot of the content you can create around competition, so it shouldn't take away from your drive to get better and be better. So yeah, every chance I get to tell pros, current, former, past, all future, get involved with content, because it's as important, if not maybe even more so important than the competition standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of pros like stream, because I think that's how you can like get like instant money and stuff like that from that. So streaming is like the easiest way for pros to like put content out there, and it's like the most worth it for us. But I think like it shouldn't even be that hard to just make a YouTube video and just upload it. And literally, I watch so much YouTube, and like that's one of the, like, the main platforms I use. And I think that's something like I do want to like get into, and not just only live streaming gameplay, but actually like making videos, and even like outside of game videos, maybe running videos, like just anything really, and like try to build that online presence. Because even when I go back and watch my old YouTube videos and like look at the comment section, like people really were like enjoying it, even though it was not maybe a lot of people, but there are people that out there who are enjoying it.
You should always create for impact, not impressions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in your brand, I feel like a lot of people just like you as a personality too. And if you were to upload more YouTube stuff, like you would easily build momentum with it. And they also, there's a lot of, of course, there's also like a lot of cross pollination that happens too that I noticed, because like I started doing the YouTube stuff, like breaking down like some of your scrims, some of the other top team scrims, and then like people will watch the videos, and then now all of a sudden they're showing up in the stream, or vice versa. They're in the stream and they hear me talk about it. Now they're watching the videos, and then and I've also got TikTok now, which this sounds hilarious to say because I'm a 33-year-old man with a TikTok, but now I've got people that are like, "Yo, I saw your little spawn breakdown on TikTok, and I'm here in the stream." So, and some of those people buy coaching. So it all kind of works together, There's a lot of cross pollination, so maybe that'll inspire you to get on that YouTube grind and quiet that nagging voice. There's also just something like once you put out a YouTube video, you're like, all right, I did it. Like now the nagging voice in the back of my head is happy, so I can go do something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've had ideas where I just need to like put my clips together and just put some music in the background and upload it, or maybe a couple things from a scrim to happen, so I can just like sit there, talk about it for 5 minutes, and upload it. Like it really shouldn't be that hard. Like in my head, I already have like ideas. I just don't do it.
Yep. Sometimes taking the first step to just like start is like the hardest part. But once you start, it's going to happen.
I know one of my fondest Halo memories, it was that run at the NA Super where we defeated it was Cloud9, United, Sentinels with that Frosty crew, and they're still with Lethal. And I know that's one of my fondest Halo memories. What was it about that weekend that you remember that was special for you?
That was honestly one of the best weekends like ever, dude. That was a fun time. Like that was our first time. That was my first time ever meeting like Squale, first of all. And it's literally my teammate. And then Devin.
He's a fun guy.
Dude, the most sarcastic, funny dude ever.
I know, I miss Nate, dude. He was a good teammate to be around. And then literally just like being back with Devin after like not teaming for so long, and then like having that run to like get top 2. I think it meant so much to me just because I got like kind of screwed over in that my previous team. That going to a brand new team with brand new players and having a good result, like as our first result, it just felt like really amazing. We got to like party and like get hibachi the next day. It was a super sick experience. That's definitely one of the weekends I'll remember for a long time.
I just remember losing my shit, just like going Super Saiyan, just like jumping up and down. It was such a fun run, man, because like you said, the previous tournament we were what, like a top 12 team, and then we go all the way to the grand finals where we're taking on Optic. I think Bravo himself said that it was one of the most historic Halo runs in Halo history, which granted, again, it was online, but everybody was in Dallas and in Texas for
everyone
that.
traveled to Texas,
right?
Everyone was like playing side to side with their teammates, so it was pretty level playing field.
Yep, everybody was side to side. Everybody was on 10 ping. It felt like. So I think people discredited that for being online, but it really it felt like a special tournament nonetheless. Obviously, probably a little biased since I was huge fans of you guys and just wanted to do whatever I could to, emotionally support you guys and support you guys in game, out of game with strategy and stuff like that.
It was sick. We had a whole so we were playing in a room, but it felt like we had so many people just there like to support in person, like just through like staff and like people's family members, and just like I remember Kenny's son was like hyping us up and stuff, like giving me fist bumps before matches and after matches. Like I don't know, it was just like a super sick like atmosphere, I felt like, in the moment. And just to be able to like perform in front of that and like everyone getting hyped for us, I think like meant a lot. And then like I said, just getting a result like that literally right after the team change, like me getting like kicked off the phase roster basically, was I think that's what made it mean so much.
Definitely a special weekend, I think, for a lot of us. That's going to do it for the regular questions that we had prepared for you, unless you had anything else, Hunter.
Yeah, I think just real quick, final question. This current Sentinels roster, let's look into the future of your competitive timeline. What do you think it's going to take for you guys to break through into that top 3? Sentinels has always been one of those teams that's been a dark horse or in consideration for one of those teams that could break through into the old guard of Big 3, SSG, Optic, FaZe. What's it ultimately going to take for you guys to break through?
We have 3 tournaments left for the rest of the season, so I think it's going to come down to just like our practice and our game planning and going to the tournament and actually like taking these, like, I don't know, there's some big series like we gotta be able to take. Just a winners round 1, for example, I think is huge. Like I said earlier, like just losing winners round 1 is like so critical in how you're going to do with the rest of that tournament. Yeah, I think it's going to come down to like more game planning and just getting more reps like with each other.
Cool. So let's jump into the rapid fire questions and wind this thing down. So these questions are designed for short form answers, but if you want to expand on any, feel free. The first one's pretty cut and dry. This is like I'm just typing exclamation point settings in your Twitch stream, but what are your current sensitivity settings?
4 acceleration, 5 horizontal, and 6 vertical. 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, that's very easy to remember too. So you don't have to think too hard about setting up your profile. Who would you say is on your Halo Mount Rushmore? So basically your top 4 Halo players of all time.
It's hard because I kind of want to like split it between eras, but I'm not going to do that. Let's just go with Ogre 2. Man, this is hard. Let me go Ogre 2 Lethal, because Lethal is kind of one of the goats of this era.
Modern GOAT, yep.
Modern GOAT and the old GOAT. I mean, you kind of need someone that like the pop culture, maybe like a T-Squared.
Okay.
Because he was huge in his era. I don't know. I would give it to Walshy more. I'll say Ogre 2, Walshy, Lethal, and let me get one more from this era. Maybe like a Snakebite or Roll 2 or Frosty. Lucid, normal. Can we just have like
there's so many.
Yeah. It's hard to pick.
You can't really pick Snakebite without picking a Royal 2 because like they've literally they've teamed together since the very beginning. So like their success is always together. So it's a cop out, but hey, we'll take it. I kind of feel the same way. What would you say is maybe a Halo hot take that would have you roasted on social media?
The shock rifle takes skill. No, I don't know. Yeah, we'll just go with that. The shock rifle takes skill, bro.
All right.
I'll stand on business. Even though like I know it doesn't, but I just like to use it.
I think Bound said something like Bubu's only good with the shock rifle or something like that.
Oh yeah, like Bound and Renegade love saying that.
What would you say was a foundational shooter for you that kind of like helped you build your skills in the early days of gaming?
Republic Commando.
That's where
on the OG Xbox.
Is that where Darth Bubu the Dubu was? Was that his origins? It sounded like you played a lot of Star Wars games as a kid. So like I feel like
No, I did. I mean, even Battlefront. Battlefront, Republic Commando, and Jedi Outcast. Those are 3 Star Wars games, and they were just so much fun. Yeah, I got good on the 6 from playing those video games. Then I played Halo, like already pretty good.
Did you play Knights of the Old Republic? Did you play that Star Wars game?
I mean, I played it, but not. No, I didn't really play it. Like, played it for like 10 minutes.
Okay, that's actually a really goated like
Dude,
RPG
I just
adventure
never
game.
played RPGs. I never played story games. Like, I don't know. I only played multiplayer games.
It was so good.
that was my favorite. Non-FPS, that KOTOR was, man, I remember getting my lightsaber for the first time. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, they make you work for it.
My older brother, or like the brother in between me and my oldest brother, played it. Like, he was the one playing like the single player games.
How did so they talk about like reality becoming a meme and the meme becoming reality? Like I feel like that's exactly what happened with the Darth Bubu the Dubu after you said that.
It was
Yeah,
written
I mean,
in the stars.
That was just my natural reaction. I don't know. I didn't even think about it. I just did it.
So funny. What's your favorite weapon throughout all Halo titles?
I mean, sniper rifle, for sure.
Okay.
From which title?
Halo 3. Something was just satisfying about sniping people in Halo 3.
Who is your? Well, I think I already know this one, but who's your favorite duo that you've teamed with in Halo?
Favorite duo, man. I've had so many fun teammates, dude.
Looking at your wiki, you've teamed with literally everyone, so I can see why
I know.
this is a hard thing to pick.
I'm gonna go with Shotzzy or Foul, just because like I'm best friends with both of them.
Do you still see Shotzzy regularly? Does he live near you?
Yeah, we're literally best friends. Yeah, we hang out a lot. So, I mean, Shotzzy or Foul, honestly, so I'm close to both of them, and I've known them for 10 plus years.
Who has been your favorite rival to compete against, or who's your rival right now?
Well, now it's Eco because I freaking force choked him. Even though I'm not, he stood up and he trash talked me too, and I think that's like one of the first times I've seen him like get loud at somebody like that.
I saw that.
Yeah. I was like, what?
But I was hanging out with him all Sunday night, so there's nothing like personal about it. It's literally, I think there definitely needs to be a lot more just like healthy trash talk, you know? Yeah, healthy showmanship, trash talk, and I think if you saw me make deeper runs at tournaments, you see it a lot more.
If you look back at the most viewed clips from each Halo Infinite tournament, they're rarely having to do with the champ or the best overkill from that tournament or from that weekend. It's something like your force choke on Eco. It's something like Tools' flub. Right? He's talking about playing with his meat. Right? The best clips from those weekends never have to do with actual gameplay itself. And I think again, it's a testament to why content is so important, and that why the HCS should do more to try to foster that sort of healthy, trash talk and showmanship that you referenced. And I got to give credit to Quadrant for their setup. I think, like a lot of people said online, there's a lot of things that they could have done to improve that stage and that setup, but there's no questioning that it created some of the most unforgettable moments in Halo Infinite. And I would say many people's top moment was that moment with the force choke. And I don't think that's possible without at least a main stage where they're at least brought closer together. Because traditionally it's like, my God, you guys might as well be on the other, in another venue from each other. But now it felt very intimate and up close and personal, which I loved.
I think I just lost my thought process. I was going to say something.
Top Halo moments from Infinite, top clips.
Tools playing with his meat.
Yeah. So that's what I was thinking about. I was gonna say no, I watch a lot of like sports and other esports. I'm a huge fan of like watching other competitions and like seeing NBA players like trash talk or get hype, or that's the stuff like you love to see. You love to see the passion, not just out there like throwing a ball around. Like they're actually passionate about what they do, and they're actually like very competitive. All it comes down to is like the competition and having the opportunity to like win a map and get hyped and stuff like that. I mean, I would agree. Like the showmanship is important, and like I think that's why people love like those are the top clips because like you're just seeing someone like have a pop off. You know,
It's a human
You just
element
kinda-
factor,
Yeah,
right?
it's a human element. Exactly.
Yep.
That's what I'm trying to say.
So you kind of dodged the question a little bit. Who's your favorite person to play against right now, or who is there any particular player? I mean, I feel like you're gonna just say like I just strive to beat myself every day because you're the stoic guy and you want to self improvement whatever. But like, is there any particular player that you get like an extra level of enjoyment when you beat them in a tournament?
I would just say any of the top teams. Like, I don't really care like who I'm playing against or who. Like, my goal is just to win like the tournament. You know, I do think there's like a lot of banter between like me and Bound, even though it's just like friendly. Like anytime I'm on a call with him, like off stream and stuff like that, like he's someone that's like fun to just have banter with, and he's not afraid to like trash talk. You know, he's very like loud about it. Like he'll let you know, like he'll try to like have funny trash talk and stuff. So maybe he's someone that's fun to beat. And then Renegade, the same thing. But they're also my ex teammates, so I'm just like I've been close with them at points. So.
What would you say is your favorite Halo title period?
Halo title period? Oh, Halo title, like, and then are you saying like period?
Yeah, like you're just your favorite Halo game.
Oh,
So, I worded that weird.
I thought you were
Sorry.
saying like the period of that Halo
The time period. Okay.
It's like 2007. No, Halo title. The most nostalgia is definitely Halo 3, but I think the most like enjoyment maybe was Halo Reach. I don't know. Or Halo 5, dude, and that's Halo 5 as well.
This guy just loves Halo, man. He's like all of them.
Yeah.
Any
Oh,
Halo.
I even grinded Halo 4 like really hard, so I don't know. It's just like I said, it's all I've been doing. I mean, Halo 3 for nostalgia, but Halo 5 for the gameplay, I'd say.
Can respect that. What is your fondest Halo memory from your entire career?
I mean, it's got to be the first Halo 5 tournament, just qualifying for the $2.5 million Worlds. Like, that's still the largest tournament we've ever had. It was like $1 million plus crowdfunded to $2.5 million. And just being a 17-year-old working at a grocery store, and literally, I was only at that tournament because I got a job working at a grocery store for $10 an hour, and I was paying for my family's own internet bill, and just being able to like win a little bit of cash at that regionals tournament, but also just knowing like I just guaranteed like a lot of money, like a lot, like it's a $2.5 million tournament, and then we got top 4. And we got like $62,000 each because our team made $250,000 as a team. So, I think that was like just me entering a completely different world. Like from that point on, I just like
Life-changing,
It was almost
yeah.
like it was just life changing. I stepped into a portal basically, and just had like a completely different life after that.
That's awesome. Love to hear the story from humble beginnings. Like you're supporting the family, and then you're doing what you love
Yeah.
as a dream, and you just
That's another thing. Yeah, I was able to like buy groceries and stuff for my family because we had a large family, so it was just a lot of expenses.
Props to you for that, man. I feel like anybody that like
Super cool.
uses their own prize money to like support their family or like give back to people that help support them before that, right? Because it's like you had just told the story that if your dad didn't like with a negative bank account, like just take
I
a
know.
chance to like drive you to a tournament. If he never does that, then like who knows if we'd even be having this conversation today.
Definitely
so
not.
like
I would have been known as just the online faker. Sketcher, yeah.
I think you would have found a way back in somehow later on.
Maybe.
But either way, once you make that money, you pay your dad back in some way, shape, or form with some of the prize money and help support the family. So that's really awesome. A lot of people can definitely, I guess, relate to that coming from humble beginnings and can respect that story for sure. So, Bubu, this has been an absolute blast getting to know you a bit better. Always love hanging out with you, spending time regardless. Is there anybody that you want to shout out or thank, or any final words that you have about your experience on the podcast?
Yeah, I just want to thank all the fans that's been supporting me personally. Any type of people that said hello to me at London. It was really fun, like talking to everybody and just getting to know people. Just seeing the passion for Halo is always just amazing to see. And also just the Sentinels fans. I know it's been like an up and down like season of Halo Infinite. Yeah, I just want to thank anyone for sticking around. I really do believe like this is a roster that can win it all, and like we have a really good chance of like, you know, doing some great things. I 100% believe like we will do that. We got 3 chances left. Who knows if this is the end of Halo Infinite? You know, we don't have any confirmation what's gonna happen next year, like competitive wise. The way I see it as a competitor is like, dude, this might be like our last chance. Like, let's fucking go. Like, this could be it. So, I mean, we're gonna do whatever it takes. I know personally I'm gonna do whatever it takes, and yeah.
It's another denial member this time, but BUBU DUBU showing you what he can do with this sniper. Oh my God! Ridiculous.